I hope it was a blast. Can I get like, I don't know, like a round of applause if you thought? Really, a round of applause to all the organizers. This has just been a great time, and I'm really glad to take part in it this year. I am now here to present what's new and what's next at GeoGebra. So just a little bit of a summary of some of the things that we've accomplished at GeoGebra and some of what we're looking towards as part of our roadmap. So I am presenting on behalf of some of our team leads and coordinators. So I bugged them a little bit to share some of their information and share some of their secrets. I don't know all the details, but if you have extra questions, you have my email, Monique@geogebra.org, so you can bug me and I'll bug them. All right. So today I have a little bit of wrap up and news from our apps team, our website team, our new math practice content, and then some things about our community. So from the apps team, just a little summary. This year, one of the things I accomplished was just making a cleaner and a better design for the keyboard. So there's a new design, there are some new keys, and there's just improved UX, as I believe also some speed and optimization updates and efficiency updates on the virtual keyboard. So if you're familiar, anytime you have an input box, either in the calculators or in an applet, there's a button on the bottom left icon that looks like a grayed out keyboard icon. If you click on that, the virtual keyboard appears. And the apps team is continuing to make improvements on those keyboards because they do know that there's some keys that are missing, or it can be placed better or more easily identified with better icons. So that is still in the works.
I have a question, please. Do you mind on the keyboard? So when we were sharing the assignments with one another, and she gave it to me, and I was working on it, the calculator pulled up, but I wasn't able to utilize, or I couldn't figure out how you utilize the calculator.
So that was not a calculator. That was just the keyboard. So it helps you to type in math.
So I had to open up a separate one as well.
Yes.
We realized.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So the next thing is something that was released in the last month or a couple of weeks. I can't remember. Is a new assign feature specifically for the calculator app. So previously, what you had to do was you had to open up the calculator. And then if you had, say, something done in the calculator, you would have to go here and you would have to save the file. And then from the file, then you have to go to your profile, and then you have to open that up, and then you have to share that with your class. But now there's a nice assign button in the top right corner. So you can actually just create a construction here and directly assign that construction to your students. So that is something that is new to easily create those types of assignments. Another thing is the scientific calculator has now been added in the calculator suite. So in the calculator suite, in the drop down, you should see that is what is coming up, is adding the scientific calculator to the calculator suite. Yes.
So it's not there yet.
It's not there yet, but it's coming. And then the last thing that is eventually coming is, we know one of the big features that is missing in the calculator suite that was originally in Classic is the spreadsheet. Now we know the version in the GeoGebra Classic, the spreadsheet is pretty clunky. It's a little hard to type in. Copy and pasting isn't the greatest. And so instead of just trying to fix something that's older, the apps team is working on creating a new spreadsheet view that'll go well in Suite. It'll be an extra tab underneath the Tools tab and Table tab. You can see how the table works. The spreadsheet will be something separate that'll work in conjunction with the table view. So that is also in the works. And I believe one of the things that you might not want to quote me on this, but I believe the apps team is also working on a way where you can theoretically upload like CSV files or existing data or something like that. Again, don't quote me on it. I don't know how long that would take, but I think that would be cool. Okay. Next, some updates from the website team. One of the things that is coming is a new homepage. So our homepage will be cleaned up a little bit. We know that there is an extra sidebar that kind of comes out, a couple of redundant links, things like that. We're hoping to kind of update that as well as make some of the UI look a little bit more modern and update some of the images. And then while I'm here on the slides, I'll show like kind of a preview of it, but we're also going to have updated US content pages. So the pages that you saw, those were kind of the first version, and then we're going to update it. And in these updates, there's going to be a few other buttons as well that will appear. So let's see. Right now, this is viewable on beta, but these types of updates will happen in the next maybe 1 to 2 months. But again, I don't have the exact dates or anything like that, but it should be coming out soon. So on the homepage, you'll see it's just very plainly, you have in the top the logo, which of course will take you back to the homepage wherever you are on the site. There's a resources tab where you'll be able to pull down and see the topics with nice icons, and you can also pull down and see all of the graphing, all the different types of calculators that you can access in the browser in this nice layout with a little bit of explanation for each, as well as little links for, say, like downloads or information on how to get started. The buttons for starting a calculator and accessing the math resources will still be here, and then we just cleaned up just to make it clearer just some of the things that we offer and where to find information on those things, especially if you share it with colleagues or you just need to be able to explain really quickly what's on the site. Some quotes, and then just extra, some really nice looping videos just to show kind of what the entire product offering is, because we know that that's sometimes it's hard to understand, at least with the current layout. And then we've already been working on cleaning up our footer, but we'll have an updated footer as well. So some of the math resources pages will look something like this. It'll be cleaned up, data numbers. The layout will generally be the same, but it will look cleaner. And then on some of these pages, I should point this out. On some of these pages, we also are going to add looping GIFs for the thumbnails, so that way you can see what types of interactions are involved before you even click. And then we'll also have links like some tags here and a button to like the resources to save them a little bit quicker, and a student preview button. And then also icons on the side, kind of just to tell you, okay, this part is interactive. We're still working on the icons, I believe. But we'll still continue to have interlinking pages, and if it was an exploration, there should still be questions down here. Yeah, and then it's just a little bit clearer, what type of questions that we offer. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about, something that we released this year, within the last few months, is our new math practice app. So I can't remember, but I believe at the last Florida GeoGebra conference, we showed off our math solver.
Yes.
That was it. Yes. So our math solver is basically the engine where you could type in any type of problem. So if I typed in minus 5x plus 8. Say I typed in an expression, I could click this and it would give me solutions, and it would tell me exactly some options for solving. The solver has also connected as well things like graphs, so that appears. You can see specific steps. We have a solver team that works in the back end, and also teachers who read all of these solutions and help design the algorithms for these solutions to explain what each of the steps are. And some of these have nested steps as well, so you can kind of go more granular into how you get through each step. But from this math solver as the back end, we have collaborated with Graspable Math to create the math practice app. The math practice app, you can, again, type in your problem similar to the solver, but we also have a few examples, types of examples. So I'm just going to choose, what's a good, maybe something like this that has a few steps. Basically what this does, if you're familiar with Graspable Math is an interactive algebra notation app. So with any of these types of problems, I can actually click and drag some of these terms around. So I might say move this around. I can click on the operation and it'll combine that. If I do something that's not valid, like I can't combine these two these two terms here, it'll just wobble. It won't. It's much more of a formative kind of a gentle nudge. But with the math practice, there's also, if you notice, little text that appears, that type of feedback to tell students if they're going in the right direction. And then if I'm not sure what to do, there might be a hint that kind of bubbles up. And so I still have to decide what to do with these terms, but at least I kind of have an idea, right? I believe, let's see, I can even go back a step, I believe. Yeah, and I can highlight terms with a shift key. I think I can put it back like that. There we go. So I can combine these terms.
That's what I was saying in the newsletter. But this is, I understand, outside door included in GeoGebra. It's Grasshopper Math is outside door.
No, it's in.
So Grasshopper Math is another.
It's a collaboration.
And this is a collaboration.
This is not GeoGebra Math.
Yeah, GeoGebra.org/math practice.
Yeah, the URL is GeoGebra. This is hosted on GeoGebra's site. But this is a collaboration with Graspable to use their interactive notation using the GeoGebra Math Solver engine to be able to formulate these steps. Yeah, so I can do this. I can get a new generated problem. There's leveling involved in some of these examples. And so this is, again, still a work in progress. So it will not be able to solve every single type of problem ever. But our team is working on expanding just what types of equations and expressions that this engine can handle.
Tripping integrals?
You know what? I can pass that along to the team. I can pass that along if you really want that.
I have a quick question. Is this something that a teacher could create their own questions, as long as it?
Yeah. So what you can do? That's a really great question. The question was, can a teacher create their own question? So you can actually just type a problem: 6x minus 9 equals. We'll do very simple.
Okay.
And actually, I can copy the link because it's encoded in the URL what the expression is here. So I can just copy and paste this directly. We don't currently have a way to assign this, say an assignment in GeoGebra Classroom, but again, this is a completely new app that we just created. So go to it.
Going forward, just to kind of think that way.
That is the hope. Yes.
You've seen, oh yes, Graspable Math is in notes. Yes. But so Graspable Math is in notes, but this is a separate thing because it has a solving, feature. Yes.
Right.
In notes, it's basically just,
It's
it doesn't
basically a
walk you through
whiteboard.
step by step what to do. It just set
It's just a whiteboard.
yeah.
The Graspable Math that's integrated into Notes is just a whiteboard.
Yeah, just to like write. Well, I think Tim did something
Tim did.
that did incorporate it, but I don't think it was embedded.
No.
Yeah.
Because Tim was making all those 3-minute videos or whatnot.
Yeah.
On his
Yeah.
feed.
Yes. This is this collaborate. We've done collaborations with Graspable Math in the past, but this is like a direct collaboration, not just embedding one into another. It is not just using one and kind of plopping it into another. It is an actual partnership collaboration type of project.
So if I'm
You can't do one without the other.
If I'm bringing this to my math teachers Wednesday during our math department meeting, and I'm talking to my middle school math teachers. Well, but how are they going to get their students? How are we making it so the students are using this, and not the teacher is just presenting it?
So you can actually just paste this link into an LMS and have the students go, okay, I would choose maybe a different type of problem. Maybe you had maybe a formula where the values are substituted in because you were using some formula, you had the values from another problem substituted in. And you would just have the students try it. What did or what didn't work. Let's say, a really good example is, let me go back.
You go back to, that.
Let's go to,
So that could be what you could hyperlinking your LMS.
You know, to say what terms can you combine, or what can you do,
Yeah.
right? So I basically, I just say, you know, I don't have to tell you what do you do first, right? Do you combine the X squares? Do you try and, you know, I give it to the students, and I have the students figure out what can you move, what can't you move, what combines, what doesn't combine. And from there, they start to build an intuition of how the algebraic notation works, right? You know, the abstract notation can be a little bit difficult, but this is something where I've heard that, you know, a teacher might say, so a student's working by hand, you know, these simplifying expressions, and they go, I don't know what to do next. And the teacher says, okay, well, what would you do if it were in graspable math? And they say, oh, well, in graspable math, I would just drag it like this. It's like, okay, so those terms combine. So it just helps them to build an intuition without, like, you know, limiting them, because you also can see situations where the students get really far into their steps, but they made, you know, some error earlier on. We don't want to let that inhibit them from continuing on in their work. So yeah, we can talk more about talking points later, but, you know, I'm like a show not tell kind of person, so I'm like, I'll just dump it in front of you, and then you try it, and then you like it or you don't. I'm not the most, I'm not the best marketing
everything
person
that's
ever.
coming up. So there's more she has to show us, right?
Yeah, I think maybe the question is, like, graspable math, you can create a series of activities,
Yeah.
right, that you can actually assign to students. I'm assuming that this is.
This is just the start.
This is, yeah, exactly.
It might get
This
there
is-
one day.
yeah.
Yeah, this is just the start.
It'll probably be assignable in Google Classroom at some point, is
Yeah.
my guess. I'm not saying
I agree.
it will,
Yeah.
but I think it probably will.
Yes.
If I were a betting person.
But we're just happy to be able to share some of the progress we've been working on, and of course we love feedback. So I believe there's a way to also provide feedback. Okay, yeah, so like if, for example, reporting a problem, you can even use this to give feedback, like I wanted to be able to handle this type of problem. And if there's a lot of requests for this type of problem, then the solver team can work on, you know, building that, or this gesture is not intuitive, you know, maybe there's a way, and maybe you have an idea for a gesture that might help. We'd be happy to see your feedback there. Okay, let's see, in that. On the content side, I thought that we would be in different rooms, but thankfully we're not, because you have all seen the new grades 4 through 8 resources. That was a big accomplishment for us in the last year, to be able to provide what normally is a multi-year project, but we were able to create and provide hundreds of resources that are all free, and we continue to not only improve on them, but every week we continue to publish new resources. But the resources that we released are mainly geared towards a US audience, an English-centric audience, if I would say. And so one of the things that we're looking at in down the line, or actually coming up soon, is Spanish translations of a lot of these resources. A lot of these resources have become very popular, but we're looking to basically place, you know, these high-quality resources side by side with some Spanish ones that will be directly linked on the applet pages. So you'll be able to see, oh, this link here, you know, you're searching for something, this link here has a Spanish translation. I can look at what the Spanish translation looks like and then be able to assign it, knowing that it's high quality and what it addresses. So this is just really important for equity and access to us. So yeah, if you have ELL students, or you know someone who's working with Spanish speaking students, you know, I'd love to be able to kind of beta test and get feedback. Okay, and then the next thing I wanted to talk about is just some of community and community involvement work. So if you are not aware, we have a community involvement program. Basically, it helps us to know some of your contact information, and then it allows kind of an avenue for us to hear about some of the great things you're doing, especially if you're very involved. If you create a lot of your own materials, we want to know about it. If you spread news and speak about GeoGebra, we want to know about it, so you can apply. But if you just want to know just updates about things that are happening at GeoGebra, if you have an account, you should be able to receive email newsletters. We don't send out newsletters all the time, just like a couple times a year. But also, there is a way to follow some of that newsletter as well. So if you want to, if someone wants to sign up, but they're a little bit afraid about making an account, you can share that link. If you are looking to become a contributor or an ambassador, please apply so I can send you your membership badge for this year. It renews every year. And then the last thing that I forgot to mention that is new is we have a new help center that we're building out. So if you go down to the bottom, there is a link to our new help center. And here we're hoping to build out like forums and news and tutorials. Just stay up to date. This is of course, we're still not completely built out yet, but just kind of keep this in mind as we start to continue to build it out, that this will become more active and we will have more news posted here. Yes, I think that is all. What questions do you have?
Strategy, I like that.
Is the for the updated website, is it likely that the profile, like my profile is gonna change, is it gonna look different, or is that not likely to change?
That's not likely to change. We'll
Yeah,
just
like
still
the
continue to have
folders,
the
everything that will
badge.
keep, okay.
Yeah. The badge is probably the biggest way.
Monique, I'll phrase this as a question. Are there any plans to make a help facility where somebody can type in the name of a command and they'll get returned like the command options and what it does, and then they
So
can
right now, we have, if you Google the GeoGebra blank command, usually one of our old wiki pages will pop up. Like that's the format I use to type GeoGebra blank command. I believe we are going to deprecate the wiki at some point. I have no idea when, but I know.
It's
Wow.
so good.
To be replaced with something better, I hope.
Yes, the help center will be a better forum. The wiki pages were just very slow and unoptimized, and there's a lot of issues, especially on the back end with maintaining the wiki. But we're hoping with the new help center, we'll have a better forum with all of that.
And I can add too, when you are using the GeoGebra calculators, if you start typing a command, it should pop up with the options. Yeah, like of what you can possibly use. So if I type circle, if I'm in the, like she can show here, like if you type, type circle, see how it pops up and then you see the arrow, you can see the different ways you can use that command.
But
And then there's the
sometimes
question mark here where you
sometimes
can.
there are options, right? And does it? Oh,
So yeah, if you type it in the menu, there's a question mark right here next to the command name, like where the options are underneath this question mark, and it'll open up in a new tab, the wiki. So as you can see, it's loading very slowly. There we go. This is the documentation.
Yeah, that's
This is manual.
This is the
The old manual.
the old wiki manual. Yep.
Which is still active now.
It's still active. It's not.
Which is for some, don't take it away.
I use it a lot.
I use this like every day, so don't worry.
It's wiki.geogebra.org.
so that pops up like while you're editing a worksheet.
While you're typing. Yep.
And it does it on the downloaded version too. So even if you're on there,
Okay. Wonderful.